Welcome everyone to this July 24th edition of What's Happening in Crypto with the Crypto Lark, broadcasting to you from New Zealand and bringing you all of the latest from the crypto world and beyond. Today's top stories: big news from the G20, Hashflare goes down and Sunken treasure goes on the blockchain. Bitcoin, $7,734, up 15.29% in the last 7 days and 3% in the last 24 hours. Has certainly been a good week for Bitcoin. However, the altcoin market is not responding in same, as many people are looking to acquire Bitcoin on the anticipation that the ETFs will indeed be coming soon. On to our first story of the day. The G20 looking at an October deadline for setting an anti-money laundering standard for cryptocurrencies. It's good that the G20 is giving a lot of attention to cryptocurrencies. Obviously, let's hope that this comes out to be positive in the end. They have made quite a few positive statements, but of course, all of the usual things come back. They're looking at investor protection. And yes, some investor protections might be needed in the markets, but if you protect investors too much, you also protect them from being able to make any money. Market integrity, tax evasion. Tax evasion is a very real concern with Zcash, for example. You can just make your money disappear. Privacy coins may come under fire at some point in the future. Not saying it'll be with the G20 ruling necessarily, but I would expect that to happen at some point. Money laundering, of course, always gets brought up. As we know, the key money launderers globally are the big banks themselves, but you can certainly do it with cryptocurrencies as well, should you want to. And terrorist financing, another scary thing that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies may very well enable. And again, yes, terrorists will be financed with Bitcoin. I bet your bottom dollar has already happened lots of times. But you know what terrorists have mostly been financed with? Dollars, euros, pounds, probably yen, Zimbabwean money, all that stuff. It's, of course, fiat, because it's about money, not about cryptocurrencies at the end of the day. And cryptocurrencies are simply a new form of currency that can have that value transfer. And it's a good value transfer system. Unfortunately, some bad people will use it from time to time, but let's hope that the G20 does bring out some nice, common sense, positive initiatives. Crypto ads on Google are back. Yes. Of course, we saw this recently with Facebook bringing back crypto ads now. This is not all crypto ads. It seems that they might be going with the official sources route as well, like Facebook. Coinbase ads are back anyway. So hopefully we can see more ads coming back for the crypto space, at least for players like Coinbase and Gemini, who are trusted sources. Speaking of Coinbase, Coinbase now has its own political action committee. That is really big news because it lets Coinbase really get a voice when it comes to supporting candidates who support cryptocurrencies. And of course, potentially running ads against candidates who do not support cryptocurrencies. Obviously, it's great for their business to get more politicians on board with crypto and to get people like Congressman Sherman out of office. The top 40 under 40 list from Fortune is out. And while there are a lot of expected names there, like Mark Zuckerberg, interestingly, we have quite a few crypto people down here as well. Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, of course. We have Vitalik Buterin coming in at number 22. We have Vlad and Baiju from the Robinhood app, and Pavel Durov from Telegram, which of course had that famous $1.7 billion ICO. Great to see people getting a bit of recognition here. Personally, I feel like Vitalik is more influential than Rihanna, but I guess Fortune magazine did not agree with me. Maybe I'm just a big nerd. U.S. attorney moves to dismiss murder for hire charges against Ross Ulbricht. This has been a big thing. Anytime I've mentioned Ross, someone always comes back and say, yeah, but the murder for hire thing. It seems that there is not enough evidence to actually say that this was something that did indeed happen. Probably it wasn't. There were a lot of allegations of mishandling of the case and corruption during Ross's case, and that he may have actually received a much harsher sentence than he should have received due to the murder for hire charges, which at this point seem to have been totally unsubstantiated. So at the end of the day, we see that Ross Ulbricht is facing a life sentence for having a website where people were able to buy and sell drugs using cryptocurrencies in this situation. And that is really, really big, because life sentence for building a website, that's crazy. Especially, again, we've talked about the statistics before about big pharma and how many people die annually from prescription drugs. So hopefully this will make some movement on the Ross Ulbricht case. Hashflare drops its Bitcoin mining contracts as profitability dwindles. This is a very unfortunate situation, and I know that a lot of people have been affected by this, myself included. My contracts have also been canceled, much like everyone else's. Cloud mining is something that has really changed in the last 6 months. We've seen the difficulty of Bitcoin mining increase so exponentially. When you couple that with the price drop in Bitcoin, even though we've seen some recent upward movement, it's not surprising to see that some of the secondary cloud mining players like Hashflare going under. And I know that a lot of people have lost a lot of money on this, and it's a really unfortunate situation, but unfortunately, we did sign those contracts with Hashflare, and one of their clauses was that if the mining becomes unprofitable, that is to say that the fees are taking more than the daily Bitcoin generated, then those contracts will be stopped. And unfortunately, they have pulled out that clause. Cloud mining, it seems, is a bit of a gamble. So for anyone who did get burned by this, let this be an important learning lesson moving forward, to never go all in or to never over invest into something. For me, Hashflare was always very much a side investment, and I did put some money into that, and obviously I did lose my money as well on that. But it was never 100% of my investment, or 50% of my investment. It was always a small percentage of my investment. On to the next story. Charles Hoskinson's goal to have ADA become the first $1 trillion cryptocurrency. I mean, hey, if you have to shill a cryptocurrency, you may as well shill your own, Charles. That is a big claim without a doubt. But it is also early days for Cardano, and they have got a lot that they want to deliver on. Without a doubt, if it does become a $1 trillion cryptocurrency, wowzers, that would be amazing. Of course, time will tell, and competition is heavy, particularly when it comes to the platform arena. WanChain opens its bridge to Ethereum to help with that blockchain interoperability. Tezos has baked their first community block, which is a really important step in the decentralization of Tezos. Kiwi startup will be using blockchain technology to trace garments from origin to sale. We have seen a lot of different supply chain initiatives coming out. This is a homegrown in New Zealand one using the NEM blockchain, launched by a lady who actually already has a clothing company here in New Zealand. So pretty cool to see that being pushed forward. Proton Mail may be doing an ICO because it's the hot thing to do these days. And speaking of ICOs, we've got a very exciting ICO coming up here. Apparently, a Russian battleship has been discovered off of the coast of South Korea, potentially having up to $133 billion worth of gold on board. Now, a company called Chenil Group wants to be the ones to go down and to retrieve that gold from the battleship. The thing is, though, they're looking at doing an ICO in tokenizing the treasure. This is either a genius idea, a terrible scam, or a totally half-baked crazy idea. I can't quite decide yet, but I really feel certain that this is an ICO that I don't want to be involved in, and I'm not really sure they need to have an ICO to do this. Just go down there and get the treasure, guys. But they do have to actually pay an upfront fee to the South Korean government to be able to go down and claim that treasure. Perhaps this is part of the reason for having an ICO, but nevertheless, interesting story. Thanks so much for watching the video. Let me know what you think about any of today's news stories down below in the comment section. Thumbs up the video. Share these videos around the internet to help our community grow. Make sure you join the conversation over on Twitter, where I share further insights into the crypto space. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.